podcast. So we have a podcast I call We, Us, and anybody shows up at 1400 because I'm going to, wow, it's always losing connection. There's nothing here. Reading this book, Crosslin Smith, Katua, Original Inhabitant. So, get ready. I said at 2 o'clock I was going to read something out of Crosslin, but first I want to read something because he already passed, and this segment says what others say. So if you're going to be following on the podcast, get ready, because in 5 minutes we're going to start the show. The podcast show, that is. We already started on TikTok Live. Because my name is Melody McCoy. I'm an enrolled member of the Cherokee Nation, and my clan is the Blue Clan. Ani Sahoni. I was asked to write about Crosslin Smith. Most people know that Crosslin's father was Stoke Smith, and that his grandfather was Redbird Smith. The Smiths are a very traditional Cherokee family. Some people are perhaps less aware that Crosslin's mother was a McCoy, Lila McCoy, and the McCoys are another traditional Cherokee family. Lila was one of the 22 children of Alec or Alex McCoy, my great-grandfather. Another of Alec's children was George McCoy, who is my grandfather. George McCoy's son, also named George McCoy, is my father. So my father and Crosslins are half first cousins. Crosslins lives and farms and raises cattle on Alec McCoy's original allotment in Sequoia County, Oklahoma, Cherokee Nation, District 3. The land is beautiful. My aunt, Anawaki, used to say that when she visited old Alec's land, she could still see the horse-pulled wagon that Alec had when she was a child bumping over the hills. On the land, where we still ride horses, hunt deer, and gather wild plants, the wagon ruts are still there. Though now they are traversed by pickups, flatbed trucks, and tractors, portions of the land are quite timbered with area hardwoods like oak, hickory, and walnut. My aunt once called Crosslin how he deals with stress, and his response was, "I just go walk in the woods and talk to Creator." That's what I do, right out there. Tell you, he's a lot older than me, but he passed. Creator called him home. We share the same life. Mine's just a little later, probably the last part of this era. Crosslin is not just a farmer, rancher, and hunter. He's not just a brother, cousin, husband, uncle, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. He is a prominent traditional healer among and for the Cherokee Nation. Crosslin has treated me and members of my family from time to time over the years, and I am well aware of the powers that he offers and which he connects. I'm trying to show the picture. Crosslin speaks Cherokee fluently, and he knows Cherokee traditions, culture, and wisdom. In 1999, Crosslin came to Boulder, Colorado to marry me and my husband in a traditional Cherokee ceremony. Fortunately, Boulder County includes American Indian tribal spiritual leaders as among the governmental and religious leaders that can officially perform such ceremonies. Crosslin often asked to speak at meetings, events, and gatherings around the country. He has done so at national, state, tribal, intertribal, and local occasions. He's an extremely effective speaker. Some years ago, he generously gave an invocation at an intertribal meeting that my office was co-hosting in Oklahoma. I guess it's like this. But then I gotta move my mic. Hello. In attendance were many tribal leaders, Indian educators who regularly attend the frequent intertribal conferences nationwide. In that small meeting room in a large convention center, one tribal leader, who I believe was from Pacific Northwest, remarked afterward that Crosslin had simply given the best native invocation that he had ever heard. I was filled with Cherokee pride. But though he excels personally in public presentations, what strikes me the most about Crosslin is his unfailing day-to-day treatment of people, spiritually, medicinally, and literally. He generally understands, accepts, and respects that we all are true equals without regard to race, age, gender, I gotta turn the page, sexual orientation, ability, or disability. I know that he has treated people from around the world. He is known among indigenous communities worldwide, and he is contacted, if not visited, from people around the world. And these are just people, human beings. As Crosslin himself often says, we, Cherokees, pray for all living beings and their eternal spirits. Sincerely yours, Melody L. McCoy, Attorney, Native American Rights Fund, Boulder, Colorado. So you can see there are some things and words that people talk of Crosslin. Oh, it's time to start. All right, we got to start our show. All right, here we are with the Voices from Indian Country podcast with live TikTok to answer. Well, we're not going to answer anything this time. We're going to read a book about Crosslin Smith, Stand as One. I got to fix my mic. I am the mic. What am I talking about? Hey. There's only 6 of us. That's cool enough for me. Let's get it going. But you can find it on the podcast. So, good afternoon. Oh, it's N-E-N-A Sports. It's in a game. It's Jeannie. Oh, somebody's been dreaming of Jeannie because she showed up. Who was it? All right, let's see who else gets to say some. Hey, Susie C. Roosie. Shawano is what they're asking about. Ispagogi language, ancient language. Is that what the Seneca kid is talking about? Does he want to hear Washakata Willow, Quishilawa Paw? Would he know what that means? Would the DNA reach out and say, I agree. Supkahi. It is true. Washakata Willow, Quishilawa Paw. Supkahi. All right. 16, god dang, what just happened? Are y'all on ending time? Come on. I'm going to ring the bell on that one. Yeah, my podcast people, the TikTok people are on ending time. Y'all's on ending time. Hey, Chata Siahoki. Hey, you're right. We look like their age, but we ain't their age. Oh, man, that's such a good one. That was a good one. I just crack it because that's true. That's why I can be selective. Hey, but golly, they gotta have an education, man, because it's not that fun. Oh, I got something to share for you. All right, so when I went and searched for the book, that's where I've been for these couple of hours, feeding Koba and playing with Koba. I guess I could do a live for Koba so y'all can see him play. But when I picked up this book, I opened it up. And this was in there. And when I opened it, it's like a surprise. It's like, oh, yay. Like, who is it? You know? I opened it up. And it was just like what? I said, oh, who is it? And I was just getting happy. It's like somebody come knocking on the door, right? It's my grandma. Remember I was talking about Grandma Corn? That's my grandma. This is before I went to the Coast Guard. This is why I went to the Coast Guard, actually. My grandma, man. All these people I was sharing on Instagram, how I represent these people here. Oh, it's such a gift, man. I'll wait for more people, so we'll read a little bit later, maybe 5 more minutes. But I'll share this with you. Tribal rights, Cornelia May, Grandma Corn, Kasika, because the whole town of Shawnee called Grandma, my grandma, our grandma, their Grandma Corn too. I said, man, I used to get mad about that when the Stehekis would call my grandma their grandma. I was a little bit, no, it's my grandma. And it just says, the Reverend Arthur Carpenter, who was there for the prayer, and I'll Fly Away, the obituary, and then Uncle Dan, he sang Amazing Grace, and then Uncle Dan's daughter-in-law, Martha Watson, which is my cousin's wife, she and Pam Tiger sang Sweet By and By, and then Reverend Jackson Shoemaker. Remember I shared with you about him. He did the message, but before Grandma passed, I shared with you about what he shared with me about going to the Navy. He said, you don't have to make a long prayer. If anything, he already knows what you need. All you have to say is, God help me, before your feet hit the floor. And I did that. I did that during boot camp, and I got a whole bunch of amazing accolades for it. For real. Navy League Award, Hall of Fame company. I was against the whole freaking base, man, for real, against the Abraham Lincoln. They didn't even have a ship. They had a whole crew, but their ship was being built. I was against them too. All the recruits. And if there was 200 in my company, imagine there's 5,500 on our ship, the Kitty Hawk. What would it be on the Abraham Lincoln? Some of these have bowling alleys. Not ours. We were back there rowing. No, we were steam driven. But how cool, because that works. And I'm a representative of these people because I apply it. They're my elders, but that's his family. And I was just thinking today, I need to, there's a little king's heart. I hate when I do that. Maybe that's that King's Heart's voice. I don't know. But that sure is funny. Anyway, the Creek tribe sing Hallelujah. And so, is there buzzing again? Let me know. All right, and so in this, the family had picked something in here to say. But I want to remind you what I shared with you before about what Grandma Corn had always said to me. I don't know if she shared that with everybody, but with me, she always said, Grandsonny, all you have to do is follow after him, and he'll provide everything that you need. And when I was little bitty, she'd always told me that. Always told me that. So I'm going to read this that the family picked out. Okay? And just keep that in thought also while as I read this, because it shocked me. It's like, wow, I needed to hear that. Because I'm on this path. If you see my old TikToks of how we came out here to the land, how all this fraud is, how all this craziness is, that I needed something like this. So I'm going to read it. And maybe you need it too. It's titled, When I Get to the End of the Way. I don't know who it's by, but here we go. The sands have been washed in the footprints of the stranger on Galilee's shore, and the voice that subdued the rough billows will be heard in Judea no more. But the path of that lone Galilean, with joy I will follow today, and the tolls of the road will seem nothing when I get to the end of the way. There are so many hills to climb upward, I often am longing for rest, but he who points me my pathway knows just what is needful and best. I know in his word he hath promised that my strength it shall be as my day, and the tolls of the road will seem nothing when I get to the end of the way. He loves me too well to forsake me, or give me a trial too much. All his people have been dearly purchased, and Satan can never claim such. By and by I shall see him and praise him in the city